friends at Beach Student Ministries. Lindsay here, and I am going to tell you the story behind the song Castles. This song is really special to me. I wrote it probably like 2 weeks in to living in Nashville, and it was like one of the very first worship songs that I wrote after moving here. I was walking into a co-writing session, and I had been really kind of obsessing over this verse in Matthew 7 at the time, and God had just been like really speaking to me through it, especially with where I was in my life at the time. So I'm going to read the scripture really quick. It says, "Everyone who hears my teaching and applies it to his life can be compared to a wise man who built his house on an unshakable foundation. When the rains fell and the flood came with fierce winds beating upon his house, it stood firm because of its strong foundation. But everyone who hears my teaching and does not apply it to his life can be compared to a foolish man who built his house on sand. When it rained and the flood came with the wind and the waves beating upon his house, it collapsed and it was swept away." So this verse meant a lot to me at the time, because I was coming out of a long few years where I had built my life on sand, on fallen grounds, on an unsteady foundation. And so the whole metaphor with the song Castles, it's like when I built my castles on falling grounds, which basically just means the castle is the metaphor for our life, our identity, our heart, our whole being. When we build our castle on something that is unsturdy like sand, like imagine if you were to build a building on top of sand. Literally one wave would come and it would be like, all right, we gone, peace out. Like the castle would just be floating out in the ocean. And so it's like that's the visual of what I had been doing with my life. I had run away from God. I had been building my life on a relationship that I was in, and what that person thought about me and what that person was saying about me, and it was really toxic. And I had built my my life on what other people thought of me, and on image, and on if I keep everything looking good, then maybe things will get better. But everything inside of me and in my heart was just like crumbling down, and I was having really bad anxiety and really bad depression, and I was trying to control everything, but really in trying to control everything was just getting more and more out of control. And so coming out of that season, I had run back to God, and I had surrendered my life to Him again. And so I was going through this journey of just like reading the Word, and of really just remembering who He is, and that He's good, and that He is worthy, and when you build your life on Him, He is a firm foundation. It's unshakable. So when the waves come, as they do, it's like when you give your life to God, your circumstances don't always change. There's still going to be waves, and there's still going to be storms, and the tangible things around you are still going to be there. But the difference is when you build your foundation on Jesus, it's like the waves are going to come, but those waves will not knock you down. You will not be destroyed. You have the perspective of heaven, and you can actually have peace when there's mass chaos surrounding you.